Hey guys, welcome to tonight's Big Brother 22 episode chat.
What a cluster. It is episode 20.
There's a lot of drama on this episode.
It's episode 20. It's 9/20/20.
Whoa.
That's a lot of 20s.
What are the chances?
If only I could find the extra 20 in my purse.
I know, right? That'd be pretty sweet.
Yes.
But anyway, last time, our sweet, sweet Ian was evicted and sent to the jury house, and the deciding vote was his best friend in the house, Nicole Franzel.
Who lied her ass off this week.
Yeah.
So, she lied her ass off, he was evicted, and the HOH was in progress.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhat hope here, but no.
All right. Well, they had some flashbacks here during the HOH competition, which were necessary because there's going to be a lot of drama surrounding this vote, and people need to know why.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this edit was a bit misleading, though, but we'll get there. So anyway, like we said, Nicole Franzel voted for Ian to go, and that really left David, and Kevin hanging because they all voted for Tyler to go. They were under the impression that it was going to be a 4-4 tie, and Danny was going to break the tie for Tyler to go.
Yeah.
But obviously, that did not happen. So, the morning of the eviction.
Yeah. David tried to set a plan in motion to get a 4-4 vote.
Well, actually, he had talked to Ian the night before. And Ian was like, I just need one person to lock in their vote, and then all the other votes will fall into place. So Dave was like, all right. They shook on it. And then the next morning, Ian is going around being like, yo, I got David. David shook on it. So Davon is like,
No way.
are you sure about that? Because that's not lining up with what he's been saying to me.
Right.
So yeah.
So she goes and confirms it with David.
And he's like, yeah, let's have Danny get even more blood on her hands after putting 4 people up on the block this week.
Mm-hmm.
Let's push it that one step further and do this. And Davon's like, if we do this, you really got to commit to it because if you flip,
we don't want to be sitting here with our pants on around our ankles.
yeah, we don't want to be on the wrong side of this vote. So do not leave us hanging. And David's like, no, let's do this. So
then Kevin talks to Day, and she's like,
David said he's on board.
yeah.
And Kevin's like, is he though? So it's this whole chain of events.
David's credit score is minus 3,000.
Yeah.
All right, so Kevin goes and talks to David, and David convinces
David's
Kevin.
like, I want to get more blood on Danny's hands. Let's do this. Let's make her break the tie.
So Kevin's okay with that.
Bowie, can you please stop eating the chair, baby?
It's a cluster today.
Yeah.
I have been up since 6:30 this morning. If I fall asleep like a narcoleptic goat during this,
Don't worry, I'll be yelling in your ear.
All right, thank you.
All right, so then Kevin goes to Danny because for this to work and for Ian to stay, they also need Danny to break the tie to keep him. So Kevin's like, yo, I just talked to David, and David is on board for this vote because he said he wants you to break the tie and get more blood on your hands. Kevin, I don't think that's the right way to put this. Probably not the best way to frame this to Danny.
No.
But the reality of the situation is, I feel like in this edit, they tried to make it seem like Danny and Nicole would have been willing to actually do this and flip the vote, and then it was that changed their minds, but that's not the case at all.
No effing way.
No. They had already decided this is not happening, and Nicole had this idea days ago that if the vote was going to be 5-3, that she had this plan to try and frame David, and she was going to claim his vote and make it seem like David was the one that flipped and not her. So it's really, yeah, I'm getting some serious Faute vibes from this. But, in this episode, they were really trying to make it seem like this was all Danny's plan, and she was, pissed because of what David said. But that's not how it went down. This was Nicole's plan to try and pit David against Kevin and Davon.
So let's recap. Nicole will flip. David will be blamed. My son will laugh. And Danny will take credit. All right, so it's back to the HOH comp.
Yay.
No yay.
Apparently this was like a 19-piece puzzle.
Okay, a little bit harder than a 6-piece puzzle.
This was a little bit harder than a Caitlin Herman puzzle.
All right, well, Nicole was cheating off of Kevin. Not surprised. I'm sure a lot of people were cheating off of a lot of people.
It's not like they were, like, behind anything.
Let's just cut to the chase.
Okay.
Memphis blasted through this puzzle faster than a fresh pair of drawers after a greasy meal. In other words, he won.
That is a perfect way to describe Memphis.
Yeah. Yay, he won.
Great. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's out of the way now. Another committee member wins HOH again. But yeah, it's time to talk about this vote because now things are getting real. Day is pissed because she is thinking that David flipped. David has already been so shady multiple times to Davon throughout the season, so she is ready to fall into the trap.
Nicole, though.
She's ready to fall into that trap.
Nicole did not get the name Snakehole for no reason.
I know, and it hurts so bad because Davon has been burned by Nicole in the past. Like, she's burned her before, so why is she so willing to trust Nicole? I know she's had her issues with David, but, like, why are you so ready to trust Nicole?
Day gave her $500,000.
Yeah.
And this is how she repays her.
Yeah. This episode was so difficult to watch. Davon and Kevin not believing David.
Yeah.
It was rough.
Ooh. So, let's see. Danny and Nicole.
Nicole's like, Danny, what do I do? Like, do I be sad or what? And Danny's like, yeah, you need to be sad. Come on.
What do I say?
Girl, stop.
Oh my God, this is so ridiculous. I can't with these two.
Do you think they were going to give Nicole the edit that, like, she came up with the plan since she did, and Nicole was like, no, I don't want to look bad? So then they're like, Danny, you can have it. And she was like, yes.
Probably. All right, so Kevin is pissed at David. Everybody's pissed at David except for Danny and Nicole.
David keeps saying, like, I went through with the plan. Mm-hmm. You know, I voted the way we were planning on voting. I voted Tyler out.
Yeah, because Day's like, why did you flip? I trusted you.
Yeah.
I trusted you, and now I am exposed.
Yeah, it was really bad.
Day goes back, checks with Nicole again, who's laying in bed like a load, and lies again like, yeah, I swear I voted for Ian to stay.
She did not.
She swears. Swear on Victor.
So I believe this argument between Davon and David was actually a lot worse on the feeds than it was on the show because this all happened while the feeds were still down because the feeds haven't been coming back until 3 hours after the live show, if it's even live, I don't know, ends because they've been waiting until after it airs on the West Coast, and it's super frustrating, especially on a week like this when there was so much going on after the vote and people trying to figure things out. People meaning Davon, Kevin, and David, because they were the only ones who didn't know.
David was super pissed. He had loud noises.
Yeah, so he was like yelling and saying how frustrating it was that he can't even play with other people that look like him, and still, like, people are trying to set him up and they don't trust him, and it was really difficult to watch. And they didn't show it on the show, but Davon actually called David and Uncle Tom, and I think that's really what set David off because that just brought back a lot of criticisms that he's gotten in the past about, like, not working with other like Black House guests and not sticking up for Kemi last season. So I think that was really what led to the yelling.
Well, Danny and Nicole,
they're freaking having a ball.
They're like the freaking Fates from Hercules. They're all like, hey.
I was going to say it's like in Rocky Horror when Magenta and
Riff Raff?
No, Magenta and Columbia are like watching.
Oh, right.
But that's like a different situation. But anyway.
Nobody's boobs slipped out.
Not even that. They're just, no, never mind. Anyway.
All right, well,
So yeah, David...
He's starting to suspect that Nicole flipped.
He knows.
Who else is left?
He knows that he voted Tyler out.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously it wasn't him.
Obviously it wasn't Davon.
He's got a pretty good feeling it's not Davon or Kevin. Right. So who else could it be? Nicole. And he's right.
Then he says, oh, there's a 5% chance.
Well, that's what Kevin said. Kevin was like, there could be some universe where Nicole voted Ian out. And, like, her and Danny are in on this. They're working together. And, yeah, he says that theory has a 5% chance
of not being true.
It's so hard to watch.
Come on. So, I don't know why we had to watch Cody.
Well, okay, so this
pretend to make tacos.
In the moment when we first were seeing the scene, I was like, what the actual F? Why are they showing this? And then it made sense when it led into the have-not selection. But yeah, that taco night thing was a little ridiculous.
Oh. All right, so it's time to pick the have-nots. And since Ian went home, we've whittled our way down to two have-nots.
So Davon and David were responsible for picking the new ones.
Yes, but can I just first say I much, much prefer this
way than the HOH picking all of them. I totally agree.
Or asking for volunteers. Mm-hmm. I think this is way better.
I mean, I still would rather have, like, food competitions, but...
Well, yeah, but obviously we're not going to do that because...
Obviously we're not getting that.
I mean, it's like Big Brother Canada. They have so many sponsors that they just can't do any more game.
I guess. I don't know.
So, like, I don't know.
Yeah, but some of these other, like, twist competitions and stuff, we don't need all those. Like, give us our food competitions.
All right. So, Day picks Christmas.
Yes! And it was crazy, too, because, like, everybody's, like, enjoying their tacos, and Enzo's like, oh, eat them right now, like, just in case you're have-not, and Christmas is just, like, taking her time eating these tacos. And she is pissed when Day picks her. So then David picks Cody, and he's also pissed. These people have been...
He didn't eat his tacos that he made right away because the chef eats last.
Sous chef.
Who was the chef if he was the sous chef?
I thought he said Kevin, but I'm not totally sure on that. But yeah, these people, Christmas and Cody, have been sitting pretty this whole entire time. Yeah. They are freaking out over being picked to be have-nots.
Christmas was watching from up above.
Yeah, she was like, I thought you said you were going to pick Kevin. So then they flash back to this clip where Davon is, like, talking about potentially picking Kevin to be a have-not next week, or this week, but it seemed to me like she was just messing around with him. Like, she's not going to pick Kevin. And then they freaking pan up to Christmas watching like a psycho from the balcony.
What the hell? She was like, now I'm a have-not because I put you on the block? It's tit for tat now?
Excuse me. You put her up on the block for a bullshit reason next to her best friend.
The Untouchable.
Harry Potter and the audacity of this bitch.
That's like, right.
I'm sorry. It's freaking wild that she's complaining about being chosen to be a have-not.
What was more ridiculous? The Christmas watching from above and the audacity of this bitch, or the weird-ass jacuzzi party with Danny, Nicole, and Christmas?
I'm pretty sure this was actually from before the eviction, when Danny and Nicole were still trying to see if there was any possibility that they could get Christmas to turn on Tyler and vote him out, because they were like, we're going to really push, like, the girl power thing and, like, I'll do all these girly things together. But I'm pretty sure that happened while the feeds were down one night.
As soon as they made a fake girls alliance, Nicole got crapped out of the hot tub. The indoor hot tub. Jacuzzi.
And that was a rough fall.
Yeah.
You really got to be careful.
Yeah.
You really got to be careful.
It's really slippery.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So David is very frustrated. Day still won't believe him. Still. Does she believe him now?
In real time?
Yeah.
No.
That's almost as good as a live mouth in the puppet show.
Yeah, I gotta say, like, as hard as this is to watch and as annoying and difficult as this is to watch, it was a really good game move on Nicole's part to blame this vote on David, because Kevin and Davon were already not trusting him because of all the BS that he's pulled earlier in the season, being really shady, not being 100% honest with them. So for her to do that, like, it just worked out perfectly. Like, they fell right into it.
I mean, you really...
I gotta give her props for that.
You can't be angry at good gameplay.
Yeah, it was good gameplay. So,
all right, it just sucks.
It just sucks to see it happen.
Yeah. All right, so Memphis and David make a deal.
Yeah, so Memphis says in his DR, like, he is planning on backdooring David, but he wants to make this, like, fake deal with him so that if David does get chosen to play in the veto competition, he's not going to want to try as hard.
Right.
So he's like, you want a seat at the table? Here we go. Here's the business deal. Oh, God. So he's like, all right, I will not nominate you if you promise me if you win the veto, you won't use it, and you'll leave my nominations the same. So David's like, okay. Obviously, you're going to take that deal. That doesn't mean you have to follow through.
I'm not going to do that.
It doesn't mean you have to follow through. And David even said in his DR, like, if I get the chance, like, I'm going to try and save a friend.
Okay. So it's time for the nominations. And David was not the father. He's not nominated.
So Memphis ended up putting up Davon and Kevin, which really shouldn't surprise anybody. And, he said basically, Davon, you used the veto on Kevin last week, so you guys are, like, together or whatever.
Yeah. Whatever. All right, so I'm surprised he just didn't say, you know what, I had to deal with David. Seriously, what's anybody going to do at this point? What is anybody going to do?
Yeah.
All right, so next time, Zingbot is back.
Thank God,
I was right for once.
You're right a lot.
No.
Give yourself some credit.
No. I don't want to be right about this.
I want to be right about Zingbot. I'm excited to see Zingbot. I don't want to be
right about anything on this show.
Oh. Like, let's go. Let's get some zings out there.
My throat is already hurting thinking about doing the Zingbot puppet show.
I know, right? So, yeah.
That's what filters are for.
Yeah. This has been a tough week to watch play out, but let us know what you guys think in the comments.
What can be said from right now? Nothing.
I feel like pulling a cornbread right now.
F y'all.
But anyway, not you guys.
No.
But thank you again for watching. We'll see you next time, and until then,
much love.